Someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
What?
Did you catch that? The career of one of the most viral politicians in Texas is officially on the line tonight. Between polling meltdowns and record-breaking spending, this isn't just a primary, it's a political explosion. You need to see the chaos on the ground.
News, a couple of 3-4 things to share with you. First of all, again, reiterating, polls will be open. Only Democrat election sites will be open until 9 o'clock tonight because Republicans did not seek the same remedy. Here's what. Starting early this morning, there was confusion. Many people voting in the Democrat primary, not aware that you had to, on today, vote in your specific precinct, even though we've been telling them that for months. People did not grab that message. So they showed up at normal countywide voting centers, and then were told you can't vote here. You have to look up your location, your precinct, and go vote in your precinct. Problem was the site, the website they were being sent to for that information from the Secretary of State had some bad information on it. Some people were sent to locations that was not their home precinct. So they ended up not voting, and the complaints started coming in, and this grew throughout the day. This voice of complaining about not being able to vote grew throughout the day. So the Dallas County Democrat Party went to a judge and had a hearing, and the judge now...
Wait, did you catch the absolute mess happening in Dallas? We're looking at a situation where voters are being turned away from their own precincts because of a Secretary of State website glitch. That's not just a small error, that's a systematic failure during a high-stakes primary. If you're a candidate like Jasmine Crockett, your entire career relies on these urban centers showing up. But when the information pipeline is broken, the turnout tanks. We saw it hitting only 24% of the presidential numbers. A judge had to step in just to keep the lights on until 9 p.m. You have to wonder if this was just technical incompetence or something more calculated. For a campaign that lives on momentum, this kind of logistical friction is a silent killer. It's wild to see people being sent to locations that don't exist while the clock is ticking. This is exactly how rising stars get dimmed before they even reach the general election.
A lot of money across the board, but nobody even comes close to John Cornyn, the incumbent Republican senator trying to keep his job. I mean, just look at that. It's not just him, it's also pro-Cornyn groups, but it tells you so much about the state of play right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is what adds up to the most expensive Senate primary in U.S. history, and you are right to note that John Cornyn or pro-Cornyn money. I mean, that an incumbent Republican senator who was in leadership needs that to get through a primary, possibly, is astounding. And it just shows the change in the Republican Party, no doubt, and also the fact that he has an opponent who is just much more identified with where the sort of fuel inside today's Republican Party is. And
look at these numbers. Nearly $71 million spent on a single primary. We are officially witnessing the most expensive Senate primary in the history of the United States, and most of that is coming from one man's war chest. John Cornyn is dumping record-breaking amounts of cash just to hold off a primary challenge from Ken Paxton. It makes you realize how desperate the establishment is to maintain control in Texas. If you have to spend that kind of money just to get past your own party members, you're clearly smelling smoke in the kitchen. Most candidates would kill for a fraction of that budget to use in the general election, but here it's being burned just to survive the first round. It's a massive signal that the old guard GOP is terrified of the movement Paxton represents. It's not just a campaign anymore. It's a financial blockade trying to stop a shift in the party's DNA.
I'll vote for Paxton.
Why is that?
Well, because John Cornyn, probably a month or two before every election, he gets very conservative, and he is not a conservative. Okay, he's a Rhino, and the problem is these guys like that. We have so many in Congress. Several of these people have dropped out. They're bashing this. They're bashing this operation. They're bashing Trump now and all this. When they were running last time, they were all on Trump's team.
Did you hear the frustration in that voter's voice? This is the Rhino effect in full force. He's calling out the classic political move where a candidate suddenly becomes a hardcore conservative exactly 2 months before an election. People on the ground are tired of the bait and switch. They see the leadership bashing the movement one day and then claiming to be on the team the next. That's why you see Paxton gaining so much ground despite the legal baggage. Voters are starting to prioritize loyalty to the mission over a clean record. They'd rather have a fighter with scars than a safe bet who they think will flip the moment they get back to DC. It's a complete rejection of the establishment script. When voters start talking about showing their true colors, it means the traditional campaign commercials aren't working anymore. They're looking at the track record, not the teleprompter.
This is the #1 state sponsor of international terrorism, so I support the president's strike.
You cannot allow an Iran with a nuclear weapon.
I think we should trust President Trump, especially when it comes to foreign policy.
How many people are going to have to die because this president just decided that he was going to do whatever he wanted to and to ignore our congressional authority?
Every dollar that we spend bombing people in the Middle East is a dollar that we are not spending on our communities right here at home.
Look at the massive divide on foreign policy here. You've got the strike first mentality clashing directly with the spend the money at home crowd. This isn't just about Iran, it's about the entire direction of the country's resources. One side sees global strength as the priority, while the other sees every dollar spent bombing overseas as a dollar stolen from local communities. It's a high-stakes tug of war. The candidate asking how many people have to die is tapping into a very real exhaustion with forever wars that cuts across party lines. Meanwhile, the other side is doubling down on the peace through strength doctrine. It's a perfect microcosm of why this election feels like a crossroads. We aren't just choosing a senator, we're choosing which version of the future we're willing to pay for. The contrast in these clips is as sharp as it gets. The Texas political landscape is shifting faster than the news can keep up. If you want the raw truth, hit follow. Is Crockett's career over? Let me know in the comments.